Okay, here's a little video on doing a valve adjustment on a Mercedes 240D diesel. So I've already done 1, 4, and 3, and 2, which is cylinder right here. That's the last one. So how you would start this out, which I wanted to check my injection pump timing as well. So I took off the number 1 fuel line right here from the injection pump and from the injector over here, and then I just kind of, moved it out of the way. It's pretty simple to do that. And then I look down here at the bottom. That's where your timing pointer is. I don't know if you can see that very well, but it is right there, pointing right at the harmonic balancer. Okay, you may have to take some brake clean and spray it on there, but there is numbers on there. And so what everybody's saying is that whenever that balancer turns around and you get close to the number 24, which is, it also says on the label here, it's supposed to be at 24 degrees plus or minus 1 degree before top dead center. So everyone also said, oh, just put a wrench on the power steering nut there and you can turn it. Well, that doesn't work. It just spins the belt. And so if you will get an 1 1/16 standard deep socket, you can get on the nut on the crankshaft right there and a little short extension. And so what I did was I just turned the crank with my right hand, and then I just held on to the fan with my left hand real slow. And you can kind of tell you're getting close by looking at these cam lobes. So you can always tell when one's coming up on compression because you see how this cam lobe's pointed out this way and this one's pointed out the other way. That's how you know you're going to be on compression stroke, because neither lobe is pressing on the valve, okay? So I was watching this number 1 cylinder, watching the lobes come up, and then at the same time, what you want to look for is fuel pushing out of this threads right here. So as soon as I saw fuel start to bubble up out of there, I looked down at my balancer down there, and sure enough, it was really close to the 24 degree mark. So that confirmed 2 things. Number 1, that I knew I was on number 1 for sure, which I knew that by looking at the lobes. And then number 2, it confirmed that the injection pump was really close to being in time. So how to do this, and I've adjusted valves on a lot of different engines before, but this one is pretty difficult, to be honest with you. So what you have to do is you have to break these 2 this nut loose right there, and then there's one directly below it, which there's not a lot of room to get in here. I don't have any special tools. It just takes 2 14 millimeters. So just try to get in there and get on the bottom one the best you can. You can turn these first without it affecting anything. So just turn it wherever you can and get on the bottom, and then get on the top one, and then you got to hold them and just spread them loose like that. Okay. Then get your feeler gauges, which for this one, for me, I'm going with the intake at 15 millimeter or 6 thousandths. So it's super tight right there. And so this works to me opposite what you would think. Like, you pretty much just spin the bottom one, and that gives you your distance, and you want to turn it down. And what that's going to do is pull it down, and that's going to give you clearance between your cam lobe and your rocker arm right there. Sorry, this is probably not the best footage. And like I said, it's not easy to do this. They could have came up with a lot better design than this. Okay, so there, it's going in there. So now comes the even worse part, is you think, oh, you could just hold that bottom one and tighten this top one up. Well, what that's doing is it's making the gap even different still. So you kind of have to find like a happy medium in here, if that makes sense. So you'll kind of get this close to being snug. And then you'll have to put your feeler gauge back in there and check it. And now look, see how loose it is? So you'll have to go the opposite way. And you'll have to hold the top one and try to tighten the bottom one back against it like so. And now I'm getting a little bit of drag on there. So you get the idea, but that's how you do it on a Mercedes 240D.